On a cold New Year's Eve, snow was falling heavily, and in a large city, a small, thin, poorly dressed girl was walking around selling matches. She had no hat, no shoes, and was wearing only a tattered dress. In her hand, she held a small box of matches, hoping to sell some so she could return home with some money. All day long, no one bought any matches from her, and she didn't dare to go home for fear of being beaten by her strict father. Her father did not understand her struggles. The little girl wandered through the city, not knowing where to go, with no place to call home. As night fell, the girl grew tired and cold. She found a corner to sit in, shivering. To keep warm, she struck a match. The warm light from the match made her feel a little better. In the faint glow, she imagined herself sitting in front of a warm fireplace. But when the match went out, everything returned to the cold and darkness. She struck a second match, and this time she saw a lavish dining table with all kinds of delicious food. But when the match went out, the feast vanished, leaving her with a hungry stomach and deep despair. She struck a third match, and she saw a beautiful Christmas tree adorned with candles and ornaments. When the match went out, the tree disappeared. Finally, she struck the last match. In the flickering light, she saw her grandmother, the only person who had ever loved her. Her grandmother smiled and held out her arms. The little girl felt warm and happy. She no longer felt the cold or hunger. She called out to her grandmother, begging her not to leave. The match went out, but the girl still saw her grandmother, who had come to take her to heaven, where there was no more hunger or suffering. The next morning, people found the little girl lying dead in the corner of the street, a smile still on her lips. The burnt-out matches were scattered around her, and people knew that she had passed away in the warmth and happiness of her final dreams. The townspeople mourned her tragic fate and realized the coldness and indifference of society towards the poor children.